And a very pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Tornado Talk. Glad you're able to join us where we'll talk all things Brevard College Tornado athletics this evening. We're going to talk a lot of men's and women's basketball, understandably. It's the season where hoops are on center stage, and both the men's and women's team have had enormous success already this season and looking to keep that momentum going through USA South Conference play. We'll have guests from women's basketball coming up shortly, and later in the show, guests from men's basketball as well, and catch you up on the basketball action around Brevard College. Spring sports also just around the corner, and you can start making your plans. We're just a couple weeks away from getting started with several spring sports here at Brevard College. Women's lacrosse will get things going with a scrimmage on Saturday, February the 3rd at 11 a.m. That's against the Western Carolina University club team at Isla Family Field. And then women's lacrosse will have their season opener on the road in Ferrum, Virginia at Ferrum on Saturday, February the 17th. Men's lacrosse, the start of their season just around the corner. Practice, by the way, has started for these spring sports. Thursday, February 8th at Montreat, at nearby Montreat, North Carolina, if you want to circle your calendar for that one. Baseball season opener, they'll start their season at home, friendly confines of Gilcone Field. That's on Saturday, February the 10th versus Averett. And then softball season opener on Saturday, February the 17th. They'll be on the road in Decatur, Georgia at Agnes Scott. Men's and women's tennis will get things started on Saturday, February the 17th versus Johnson & Wales in Charlotte, North Carolina. Also, check out track and field this spring. That schedule will soon be online and available for your planning purposes on bctornadoes.com. Well, as we prepare for spring sports, as we mentioned, basketball in full bloom, and we're going to get things started this evening by talking some women's hoops with Associate Head Coach Annalee Bollinger. Coach AB, thanks for joining the program.
Thanks, Phil. Thanks for having me.
Well, looking back on these last week or so, Coach, a current 3-game win streak for Brevard College, and would love to kind of go through these last 3 games and how it's kind of brought us to where we're at right now. And it started with a really resounding win coming off a loss at Southern Virginia, but Brevard wins 71-47 over Mary Baldwin and really kind of got this train going in the right direction. Can you think back on that one there, Coach, and how that was so important coming off the Southern Virginia defeat?
Yeah, so honestly, we didn't play well at Southern Virginia. We did some good things. We did some not so good things, and they played a really well game. And that happens sometimes. And you go to Mary Baldwin, and we haven't lost 2 in a row all year. And so that was our goal going into it, like, hey, guys, we're not dropping 2 in a row. And, we're dealing with some adversity right now. We have a lot of injuries on our squad, but we're not letting it affect us at all, in my opinion. The girls are going out there and getting a lot of experience and have some people playing different roles. And we had a lot of different scoring that game, a lot of people rebounding, just trying to do it as a team effort. We got out there and got it done, played pretty well.
Just a few days later, and these are always tricky, you get a non-conference road game in the middle of the USA South Conference schedule. You're laser focused on conference and succeeding in the conference. Then you have to head to Swannanoa, North Carolina, take on Warren Wilson. Tricky spot, but the Tornadoes get it done.
Yeah, super cold too. I mean, that was a trip already. And we don't typically play extremely well in that gym, but I thought we played pretty well that game. Again, we had multiple people in double digits, had a really good defensive game, got to work on our press a lot of people scored. Everybody got to see the floor in some form or fashion and ended up coming away with another good win.
That led us to this weekend back at home, taking on William Peace in a key conference matchup. And this was an interesting affair whereby, things were tight early on, heading into halftime. And then, the Tornadoes really pull away in the second half. Big win, 78-58 ultimately over the Pacers.
Yeah, I mean, that team is really good. Their schedule doesn't necessarily reflect it, but I think they play hard and I think they compete, and they really hung with us. And it was similar game at their place. Like, we really didn't take a big lead until the third quarter at their place as well. It was pretty neck and neck up until the third quarter, and we struggled to shoot the ball in the first half. We didn't see it go through the net a lot, And we just told the girls when we got in the locker room, like, keep shooting. We're getting anything that we want offensively, and eventually it's going to fall. Keep playing really good defense. Try to keep them under 60. We were able to do that and hit some threes, and that's good basketball, and that's usually how it goes.
Yeah, and Coach, it was 43-43 with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left to play in the third quarter. And then Brevard just explodes on a 13-0 run. Love for you to discuss kind of, that run in particular, but also just the idea of kind of getting a scoring run and how important that is to capitalize when it's going in the right direction like that.
Yeah, I mean, the same thing that we've done all year, and Coach Hudson's lived by this as the head coach. Even when I played, like, our defense will carry us. Keep playing really, really good defense, and our defense will turn into offense. And now you're getting steals. Now you're causing turnovers. You're feeling good about yourself. Now you're going to come down and start getting good shots. Now the crowd's into it. You hit your first one. Everybody erupts. We had an amazing crowd in there Saturday. And not even just students, community members, family. It was a great showing. I think Jada and Christena hit a couple threes. Now we got some other people hitting threes. Now we're moving the ball. We're getting back doors, short corner looks. It was awesome. And I love when it's like that, when the ball is moving, everybody's touching it, everybody's putting the ball in the basket. That's fun to watch, and I think the crowd loved it as well.
Yeah, we had the Pisgah dance group there. We had the fourth graders from the Boys and Girls Club, community members, as you mentioned, as well, and then the student section, and it added up to a great atmosphere. One individual performance I do want to touch on here. We're going to have a couple of the stars of that game on the show, but one other one couldn't help but notice. Olivia Miller was just 1 assist shy from her first career triple-double, 18 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists, and just red hot early on from the field. What a great effort from Olivia Miller. She continues to get it done in a lot of different ways.
She does, and she's one of those players that can just touch every stat on a box score. She's very athletic, pretty good IQ basketball-wise, and she can do a lot of different things for us. Like, yeah, she can always go score the ball. But when she rebounds like that and she finds open teammates and we put the ball in the basket, that really elevates her game. And if one of her teammates would have made one more shot, she would have had it. We had a chance. I think we missed a couple late. She had some really good passes, but that won't be the last time that she's in that position. There will be multiple other games that she can go get a triple-double. Not an easy task, but a very, very capable player. One of the best games that I've seen from her all year overall. Throughout the game, and I was impressed. I was looking at the box score, and I was like, oh, wow, she's really close. Like, she might get it. And I don't think I've played with one player that could kind of really impact a game like that. And it was fun to watch, and I think she enjoyed herself out there.
Yeah, great stuff from Olivia Miller and the entire squad. Big win over William Peace. Well, that brings us to this juncture of the season, Coach, and currently stand at 12-4 overall. 7-3 in the USA South Conference, a competitive USA South Conference, especially on the top there. So, Tornado's in good position, but would like to move up the standings even further. In an impressive 7-1 on the home court. Kind of at this juncture, Coach, I'd love to hear your views as far as sort of state of the union, where this team's at the moment, and kind of what needs to happen from here forward.
Yeah, like I said, we are dealing with some adversity, but silver lining in it all, that we have so many players stepping up right now. So many players scoring the basketball and getting experience that maybe sometimes they wouldn't get in the roles that they're playing right now. And it's only going to be better for us as we move forward. Even this year and into next year, it's going to really elevate everybody's game. Right now, what we need to do is get the one on Saturday. We'll start with that. We need to beat Methodist at home. We need to go get Wesleyan on the road. Like, we need to split with all of those teams to really put ourselves at a good seeding. It could happen. It may not happen. We'll play extremely hard and see how it goes. And obviously we need to win the games that we know we can go out there with a better team and we got to do it. But that's hard to do, even on the road, even against teams that maybe not have as good a record as you. You're playing college basketball. At any point in time, you could drop one. You go play the best game of your life. So that's what we need to do, is focus on the one at home, and we're capable. We didn't have our best showing at Southern Virginia, but looking to redeem ourselves at home. We played well there and hoping to get a good crowd.
Yeah, let's start with that one, Coach. This Saturday, 2 p.m. at the home court of the Boschmer Gymnasium, that rematch against Southern Virginia. Matchup-wise, what did we learn the first time around with them, and what can the fans expect on Saturday?
Yeah, I think the first time that they're a very different team this year than last year. They're deep, they're long. They're very athletic. They can play multiple people in different positions. And I don't know if we were really ready to see that yet. In my opinion, we haven't hit our peak. We're not playing our best basketball yet. And I'm hoping that drops at any point. I think we're going to get there very soon. But we'll be better prepared. Like, we know what's coming. We didn't shoot the ball well, but we did some really good things. Like, our defensive rotations were good. We were really about 2 or 3 threes away and hitting some free throws from being in that game. It seemed bad by the score, but, Coach Hudson and I go back and watch it, and we did some really good things, and we're not far off at all. So I'm happy that we already get to go at them again, and we're kind of, like, built up from that. We want to get back on the floor against them. We're ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, so come on out, 2 o'clock this Saturday, Bollinger Gymnasium, Tornadoes taking on Southern Virginia. There's another home game a few days after that, kind of a quick turnaround, taking on Pfeiffer on Tuesday night, January 30th at the Bosch. So a couple opportunities coming up here for fans to see the BC women's basketball team. Coach, always like reflecting a little bit on your career as well. A lot of fans remember you as a player, three-pointing sharpshooter for the Tornadoes and such a big part of the success those years. But now you're well on your way in your coaching career. You were elevated earlier this season to associate head coach. Congratulations on that. But would love for you to kind of reflect back a little and, let folks know just, what Brevard College means to you, but also catch us up a little bit on, how the coaching career has been going for you.
Yeah, so I'm in my 5th year overall coaching, started at Averett. I've been here. This is my 3rd year now. Got the associate head promotion, which super thankful for that from Coach Hudson and Miranda as well. That's a big accomplishment for me, and it's nice to feel recognized. It's nice to get that recognition and feel value in what you do. I think that I work really hard, and I'm glad I get to share this with Coach Hudson. But just going back as a player, my sophomore year, we won 5 games. The entire year, we won 5 games. And now you look and we're in a position where we're 12-4 right now. And it's January. We didn't win a game in January or February that whole year that I played. And then, the next year we were about 500. And the next year we were almost at 500. And then I come here and coach the last 3 years, and we're being really successful. And it's nice, we're in a good groove recruiting, and we've got some talent in, and not only talent, but really, really good people in our locker room and a team that meshes. And it's been so nice to be here and reap the benefits more as a coach. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Like, somebody had to lay the foundation, and those teams that I were on and the players that I played with, we did that, and now we're singing. Coach Hudson's put in a ton of work, and he's recruited extremely well, and we're finally where we need to be. And now the next hump, of course, is winning a championship.
And you mentioned recruiting, Coach. You were the recruiting coordinator. What are the kind of things you're talking to recruits about in terms of Brevard College as an experience? Not just as a member of the women's basketball team, but the college at large. You have so much experience, not just as a coach, but as an alum. Yeah,
I mean, for me, it felt like a second home. I got to share this with my family because I was pretty close, but as soon as I stepped foot on campus, it just kind of that feeling of like, I belong here. Like, this is me, and I'm going to embrace this journey. And it was amazing for me. Like, I would have had it any other way other than to have 1 more year here, 4 years instead of 3. That's what I would do differently. But that's not the position that I was in. And that's kind of what we sell to all of our recruits. Like, come here and be part of something special, not just to play basketball or just to get a degree, but to have a family here and friends that last you a lifetime, and coaches that care about you, and professors that care about you, and admin that care about you. I think everybody here really, really does a good job in their role, and they care about what they do because they love Brevard. And I'm going to bleed blue forever. So that's what it is.
Awesome stuff with women's basketball associate head coach Annalee Bollinger. Chance to, see Coach Bollinger, Coach Hudson in their leadership when the Tornadoes this weekend take on Southern Virginia at 2 o'clock at the Bollinger Gymnasium. Coach, can you hang with us just a couple more moments? We're going to effort in a couple of your student athletes into the program here on Tornado Talk. Looking forward to this conversation with Jada Petty-Wilkins and also Christena Rhone. They've both entered the Tornado Talk Forum. Coach AB, before we let you go, Love for you to help introduce these two to NATO Nation. Tell us about Jada and Christena.
One, I think Coach Hudson set me up with these two. Okay, he definitely set this up on purpose. Both of these players I recruited. I actually recruited Jada Averett, and I think I've told this story before, and she rejected me. Whatever, she's here, and that's great. Recruited Christena Rhone from Freedom High School, and these two are best friends. I don't know how many people know that, but this relationship that they have it's special, and I enjoy watching them grow in their friendship and grow as people. But two players that are really turning it on right now, playing big minutes, having a big impact and rolling our team. And when they shoot the ball like they did the other night, I mean, we're going to be tough to beat. Christena is really playing a good role on the ball and off the ball, doing some really good things defensively and offensively. And Jada Wilkins is finally becoming what we want her to be. And now it's all going to be about her efficiency, and she's getting to the rim and she's hitting shots, and it's fun to watch both of these grow from last year to now. I mean, two totally different players.
Absolutely. And you're right, Coach. They've had huge impacts recently, and we're going to talk to them a little bit about that, including that William Peace victory over the weekend. Well, Coach, can't wait to see y'all in action on Saturday. Thanks for joining Tornado Talk.
Yep. Thanks, Phil. Have fun with these two.
All right. Thank you, Coach AB. And as Coach AB got us started here, Jada Petty-Wilkins in that upper right location. How are you, Jada?
I'm good. How are you, Phil?
Doing great. And also Christena Rhone joining the show. How are you, Christena?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. Doing great. Well, Jada, let's start with you. This past weekend, William Peace University comes into the Boshemer Gymnasium. Great atmosphere. You know, fans are going crazy. And several of you had big games, but 16 points from Jada Petty-Wilkins, getting it done in all sorts of ways. How did you feel on Saturday against William Peace and the team as a whole? Tell us about Saturday's game.
I just felt like we came in ready to, show back up and just get another dub against William Peace that we needed. Personally, within myself, I just felt like I finally showed my game because I've been slacking. I felt like individually I've been slacking. So to be able to pick it up and help out the team as much as I can felt great. The team energy was good on the bench, on the court. Just the whole energy in the gym was just great the whole game.
Jay, we're seeing some of the stats, 16 points versus William Peace, and you're also second on the team with 19 three-pointers made. Tell us about your three-point shot and, how that's, part of your game.
It's all on Coach AB. She always on me about hitting my threes. Because she was, like you said, a three-point shooter herself when she played. So she's always on me about hitting my threes. So I know when I make my threes or I shoot my threes, I just got to think, like, what would Coach AB say if I don't make it? So I always try my best to hit the threes, and I'll try to work on outside of practice as well.
Very good. Christena Rhone joining us as well. And Christena, big game also versus William Peace. You had a career high 12 points in that one. Same question I had for Jada, Christena. How did you feel on Saturday, and how did the team feel coming up with that victory?
I mean, I was just excited to play as always, and it just felt good, Just the energy we brought to each other, help us be the top players we could be during that game.
Yeah, and there was one sequence, Christena, that it was happening so lightning quick that those of us on the scores table, we weren't even sure what happened. There was a made basket, a steal, another made basket, another steal, another made basket. The crowd goes crazy. You're pumping your fist. What went down in that sequence? I think it was a 7-point possession by the Tornadoes.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it was just the energy atmosphere. After getting that first steal, then hitting the side, my teammate hitting her shot, then making them turn the ball over and hitting another side. I just think it just brought a greater atmosphere to the game.
Yeah, the place was absolutely rocking during that sequence, and just rapid fire scoring. Jada, you remember that moment as well, and Christena is such a big part of that whole sequence. It's like the full court pressure, the steal, the layup. Tell us from your perspective what you witnessed at that point of the game.
Honestly, the steal that she got, I didn't know she had got it until I see her going up. I was like, okay, she did her thing. And then she forced the turnover. I had no choice but to go hype her up after that. She did pretty good in that possession. I was proud of her.
Yeah, really amazing stuff. And again, like we had to do a double take. We were like, wait a second, did we have the score right? There was such rapid fire scoring at that moment, but great stuff. And we talked to Coach AB. That the team's on a 3-game win streak right now, trying to keep it going this weekend, Jada. And when the Tornadoes are clicking and you all are playing your best, what's happening exactly? What makes Tornado basketball successful?
When we're just all connected with each other, playing our game individually, and it just all brings the energy together, and we start working as a team, we're just unstoppable at that point. Once we start playing together, I believe there's nobody that can beat us.
Yeah, I've witnessed that as well. Christena, anything to add to that? What's the key to Tornado success?
No, I think she really got like to the point of it. It's just like all playing together. We all know what is our best like positions on the court, like what we do best, and that just helps us all build.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, the two of you being a big part of that as of late. Petty-Wilkins, double figures in each of the last 3 games over that win streak, and then also Christena double figures in these last 2 games. Just great stuff from you two. Let's talk a little bit about defense, and then we'll take it off the court a little bit. Jada Petty-Wilkins, I see a sort of. Oh, here we go. We're going to talk defense. Did Coach Hud and Coach AB get to him to talk defense? Well, I know it's a priority for every team. Tell the audience how hard y'all work at defense, in practices, beginning with the preseason.
We work pretty hard on it. In practice when we're not on it on defense, Coach Hud, Coach AB, they're yelling, they're getting on us because they expect better from us. And as a team, I feel like individually we all expect better from ourselves on defensive wise. Me personally, like defensive wise, I haven't been my best, but I definitely feel like I've gotten a little bit better as a time just because having Coach AB, Coach Hud just getting at me how they are, then seeing my teammates bringing their defensive effort, it just helps me feel like, okay, like I got the energy, I can do it, like just bring mine as well.
Yeah, Christena, how important is defense for yourself and the team?
For myself, it's like really important. Like in my life of playing basketball, like defense is what really wins the games. That you can score all day long, but if you're not like playing good defense, it's gonna be a close game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Coach AB gave us a little bit of a teaser about this interview and said that you two are like best buddies. So I'm going to turn the tables a little bit, and instead of talking about yourself, I want you to talk about the other, person here on the screen. So we'll start with Jada, and tell us about Christena. What makes her a great teammate, a great friend, all these things. Brag about Christena a little for us.
Overall, I feel like it's just how her personality is and how she can, bring a different side of me out every time. Like each time I'm around her, we can both just be doing something goofy every time, whether it's on the court, off the court. We just both dancing and match each other's energy everywhere we go. Anytime we walk in and one of us is by ourselves, someone's asking, "Where's your ride or die?" I'm like, "She's in class, or she's asleep, or at work." So it feels really good playing with her all the time and just being around her. She brings good energy overall.
Very cool. All right, Christena, the same opportunity for you. Tell us about Jada.
Oh, where do I start? Okay. Oh man, she's just like one of the most goofiest, funniest person I know. Like, if I'm having a bad day, I just know I gotta go with Jada. Like, she's just gonna make my whole day better. Like, she's just such a good person with a good heart, even though she's sassy sometimes. But I'm sorry, but yeah, that's my go to the end.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate the two of you being so real here on Tornado Talk. I really do. It's awesome stuff. Well, let's talk a little bit off the court. Jada, tell us a little bit about what you're working on academically.
Academically, right now I'm a business major with a minor in coaching. The classes, I've had some tough classes where I'm struggling a little bit, but I got it together, was able to get tutors or, ask teachers for a little extra help. But in the classroom, I feel like I've definitely gotten better getting my work done, trying to get a better GPA than what it is. And yeah, I just feel like in the classroom, I'm working on getting it done at the end of the day.
Very good. Christina, how about yourself? Do you have a major and what are you working on in the classroom?
Oh yeah, I'm also a business major with a minor in coaching. It's basically just the same, like just making sure I study for every test, making sure I get my work done, communicating good with my teachers so we can all be on the same page, especially with having a busy schedule with school, work, basketball, like it all collides.
Yeah, folks don't realize just how ambitious you have to be as a student athlete to get it done both in the classroom, on the court, especially when you're in the middle of season, you're taking road trips and all these things. But really commend the two of you and the entire team, for keeping at it on the academic side as well. Well, before we let you go, first of all, can't wait to see you back in action on Saturday. Hope fans can come on out on Saturday, see these ladies and the women's basketball team in action versus Southern Virginia, 2:00. But before we go, Jada Petty-Wilkins and Christena Rhone, you both have the opportunity for shout-outs or thank yous. Jada, the floor is yours.
First, I want to thank coaches. They got me pretty far in basketball on and off the court. They've taught me so much. Appreciate all the fans, especially the student sections. Like they be having us lay on the court. They bring the energy, and I love it. And shout out to my family for always being at the games, supporting, and my friends' family being there to support me as well. Especially Christina's family, as you know, we're close. So just appreciate everyone's family being there. Everybody just supporting us.
Nicely done. Christina, shout outs?
Okay, shouts to the coaches, of course, the ones that push me the most. Shout out to my family, my dad, my mom, my little nieces that always be at the games running around. And just shout out to my friends that are big supporters, always wanting us to improve. That's my real ones.
Very good. Jada Petty-Wilkins, Christena Rhone. Loved having the two of you on Tornado Talk. Thanks so much for coming on the show this evening. We can't wait to see you at the Bosch on Saturday when you take on Southern Virginia. Best of luck in that one and throughout the rest of the season. Great job, ladies. Thanks for joining the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. There they go. And we're going to shift gears. We're going to talk some men's basketball in just a moment. We had the chance to talk earlier today with head men's basketball coach Lee Burgess, as well as a couple of the star players of that squad as they continue their winning ways as well, KK Horton and Quincy Carter. Here's that conversation. And pleased to be joined now by head men's basketball coach Lee Burgess. Coach Burgess, thanks for joining the program.
Yep. Good to see you, Phil. Thanks for having me on.
Well, great to have you on, especially the way the Tornadoes have been playing as of late, winners of 4 of their last 5 games, and would love to kind of recap this latest run by the Tornadoes, dating all the way back, Coach, if you can jog your memory a bit. Wednesday, January the 10th, an 86-84 win over Pfeiffer on the road. That really was the beginning of this current stretch where the Tornadoes have been playing such good ball. Can you reflect back on that game and how, in a lot of ways, that was a bit of a turning point, getting the team going the way we currently are playing?
Yeah, I think that, we were coming off of a loss at Southern Virginia going into that game against Pfeiffer. It was a game against Southern Virginia that we did not feel like we played really well. Not only just in terms of how well we played on the court, but how together we were as a group on the bench in the locker room. It just wasn't our best performance. And so I think that we had made a concerted effort for this game against Pfeiffer here to be those things as far as a team goes. We certainly can't always control how well we play on the court in terms of whether a shot's going to go in or not, or the other team's shot is going to go in or not. We can't always control that, but we can certainly control how together we are as a group, how engaged we are, how mentally locked in we are. And I thought we did those things really, really well against Pfeiffer. And so that was kind of the start of what you're talking about now. 4 wins 4 of 5, 4 out of 5 that I do feel like we've been able to play very well as a group. Some games better than others in terms of statistics and things like that. But our attention to detail and our spirit have been really, really good, starting with this game on the road against Pfeiffer.
Well, that Pfeiffer game was pushed back a day due to weather, and thus there was a shorter, gap between the Pfeiffer game and the next game, which was a huge matchup against NC Wesleyan, the number one ranked team in the preseason coaches poll, and the Tornadoes delivered big time 90-83.
Yeah, so that Pfeiffer game was on a Wednesday, and we actually, had games Saturday, Sunday. So we had Thursday, Friday to prepare for Saturday, Sunday. So Thursday, we didn't do much live on the court, and we spent the time looking at Methodist, just so because that was going to be our opponent on Sunday, and wanted to, we didn't want the first time we saw them to be Sunday morning before the game. And so we worked on Methodist Thursday. And then so Friday came in and went live in practice, and everything was North Carolina Wesleyan at that point, and tried to focus in on the things that they wanted to do to be successful. It was obviously a very, very talented team that we played against. And I thought we played really, really well. We played hard for sure. Obviously we scored 90 points, scored enough points there to win the game. So I think that was a big confidence booster for our guys. Just like, okay, we feel like we can compete with anybody in this league. And now here's the proof, that we were playing the number one preseason team, in the polls, and we're coming out on top. And it's not like we didn't take a good shot from them. We took a pretty good shot from them in that game, and still was able to come out with a win.
Off the court on that special Saturday, January the 13th, it was Jameson's Joy Day, and just a fantastic program that year in, year out, the Tornadoes are able to support a outstanding local charity here in Transylvania County in the mountains of Western North Carolina. Go to jamesonsjoy.org for more information to see how you're involved. But Coach, I know this is a really important program for you, close to you and your family and your heart. Would love for you to explain to our audience why this is important every year. And, it was great to get a W on Jameson's Joy Day. Yeah,
it was great to get a win on Jameson's Joy for the Jameson's Joy game. Dan and Erica Cortine were Jameson's parents. Jameson passed away very tragically at a very, very young age, about 6 years ago, 5-6 years ago. So we've been able to do a Jameson's Joy game every year since then. We love doing it. Dan Cortine, Jameson's father, is very appreciative of it. Is obviously there at that game, and then comes to other games as well throughout the season. And really we're just trying to help Dan as Dan and Erica try to continue a legacy for Jameson, and ways to keep his name alive and moving forward. We're happy to partner with them and shine some light on that organization as best we can.
Continuing to share Jameson's legacy, Jameson's Joy, transforming lives through acts of kindness. Check them out at jamesonsjoy.org. Well, following the NC Wesleyan win in the Jameson's Joy Day, perhaps I think maybe an overlooked win, but this might have been as significant as any of them, because you have to, get your motivation right back up after that big game versus NC Wesleyan and take on a Methodist squad on a Sunday afternoon. And the Tornadoes once again delivered 91-79.
Yeah, back-to-backs are not easy. And so we went into the game Sunday. Methodist was also playing a second game of a back-to-back. So it was a wash as far as that goes. But Methodist is a team that plays really hard. They have some very talented guards, and they mix up their defensive coverages and defensive looks. I mean, it's a team that you definitely have to mentally be ready to be engaged for the full 40. You're not really going to get in a rhythm against them. Each possession is going to look a little bit different than the possession before. And so you've got to be ready for that. And I felt like our guys were, which was great. All wins are important. So this one counts just as much as all of them. And so thankfully we were able to get the home sweep for that weekend.
A Wednesday evening matchup versus Greensboro resulted in a 67-63 Greensboro win. So, in this stretch, a setback, but then the Tornadoes bounced back big time this past Saturday, just a couple of days ago, as we're taping on a Monday, a 96-74 win over William Peace. Coach, you had to be impressed with how the team bounced back after that loss versus Greensboro.
Yeah, that game against Greensboro, we got off to a really, really poor start. For whatever reason, I'm really not sure why. I don't know that our guys know why. We just didn't get off to a great start. Felt like we outplayed Greensboro for large stretches in that game, but a very poor start really made it an uphill climb for us. And so we go to William Peace and playing against a very, very solid team, very good team. Made it to the conference championship game last year and have a lot of their guys back from that team. Swept us last year. A team that we're familiar with, a lot of familiarity with their personnel, but a team that we haven't had a lot of success against. And so knowing that we were going to need to come in and be on point really from get-go was important. And, first half, both teams played really well. I'm sitting there looking at the stat sheet at halftime and like, okay, we're 9 of 12 from the 3-point line in the first half, and we're up by 1 point, which I don't know that I've ever been a part of anything like that, where we shot it so well and still we're only up by 1 point. So, second half, expecting a slugfest again. I do think we guarded William Peace a little bit better in the second half than we did in the first half. I think we turned them over a little bit more in the second half than we did in the first half. And offensively, we stayed clicking at a pretty high rate. So the score was able to get to what it was. So I thought offensively for those 40 minutes, that was about as well as we played this year offensively in terms of taking care of the ball, taking good shots going in, taking all those things into account. A very, very good offensive game for us and a very solid defensive 20 minutes in the second half against them.
Yeah, 24-4 scoring run at one point, really separating the Tornadoes from the Pacers. And as the graphic indicates there, 96 points scored in that win over William Peace. That was a season high. You hit 97 a couple times, these last couple seasons and so forth. But these last 3 wins, Coach, 90-plus points. This offense is becoming electric, as we see with our very eyes here.
Well, we've got a very talented offensive group, and they can guard as well when we're ready to go. But I think we are a challenging team to guard when we are sharing the ball and trusting teammates to make the right plays. We're always going to have 5 guys on the court that are offensive threats in various ways. And I don't think there's a lot of teams in the league that can say that. They might have, a guy that can do this aspect really, really well. But in terms of versatility, we're going to have 5 guys that can score the ball a lot of different ways at all times. And so we can be a challenging team to guard. I think we're finding a good rhythm, and sometimes it takes a little time to get there with where to be aggressive and then to trust the teammate next to you as well. Because when you do have talented offensive players like we have, oftentimes they can get the ball in their hands and feel like, I've got a great matchup here. I can definitely go get points. And it's not a selfish thing. It's trying to help the team. They want the team to win. They know we need to score points to win, and they're confident in their abilities. And sometimes that can push them into maybe some decisions that aren't the best at that time, giving the offense a little bit more time to work, giving the defense a little bit more time to break down, making the extra pass for a teammate who might have a little bit better look. And so I think we're operating very well with all of those things right now. But we have a very talented group offensively as individuals, and we're figuring it out how to do it as a team at a really high rate right now, which is a lot of fun.
Well, Coach, we started this talk this evening with discussing the 86-84 win at Pfeiffer. Well, Pfeiffer comes back here to Brevard for part 2 of the series Tuesday night, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. at the Bosch. It's going to be great to have the home atmosphere, but this is a tight matchup as indicated from that first matchup between these two. Please help us preview this rematch between the Tornadoes and the Falcons.
Yeah, this was a really, really good game at their place. Tight throughout. I think, but the two teams play a contrasting style. And so, it should be fun to watch. I think it's going to be about who can impose their part of the game plan the best. I hope we'll talk about it at practice today. The big thing that I would like for us to improve on versus our game at their place, we had 20 turnovers in the game at their place, still able to come away with a win. But 20 turnovers is a lot to give up in a game. So we need to see that number come down, but we fought hard in the game. We battled with them on the glass. We kept their post touches to a minimum, and worked really hard in that game to come away with a very, very tight win. And I think it's going to be another very competitive game tomorrow.
Very competitive game between two teams that are jockeying for position in the USA South Conference standings. As we currently stand, Pfeiffer's 3-2 in the USA South, Brevard 4-3. So really neck and neck right there, vying for third place. Mary Baldwin's on top of the conference with a 5-1 record. That's who the Tornadoes will go and play on Saturday. NC Wesleyan sits at 3-2. William Peace and Greensboro at 3-3. Coach, you've been talking to us all season long. This USA South Conference, top to bottom, anyone can win on any given night.
You can. And I mean, I think as fans sometimes, and coaches do it to a degree, players as well. I mean, I think it's just human nature to look at, okay, well, you beat so-and-so and so-and-so beat this other team. So when you go play that other team, you should win. Just kind of the common opponent kind of theory is the dominant
transitive property.
Yeah. And it doesn't work in this conference right now. It does not work. So, we beat Pfeiffer beat Greensboro beat us. It doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. We lost to Mary Baldwin. North Carolina Wesleyan beats Mary Baldwin. We beat North Carolina Wesleyan. So, I mean, every game, the margins are real thin, which makes for some exciting watching. It makes for some stressful coaching. But I think it's entertaining and it's fun. And it's going to be a fun second half of the conference season here to see how things shake themselves out heading into the conference tournament.
Outstanding stuff, Coach. Once again, folks, make sure you come on out tomorrow night, Tuesday night, when the Tornadoes host Pfeiffer. That's a 7 p.m. tip-off at the Bosch. Student section back in full force, expecting a big turnout on Tuesday. Hope you can join us as well. Well, Coach, stick with us just a couple moments further here. We're going to invite in a couple of, really the key components in so many ways. These two guys have been a big part of this streak as of late. Winners of 4 of the last 5, the Brevard College men's basketball team. KK Horton in that bottom right location, Quincy Carter in the bottom left location. Most of Tornado Talk's audience knows these two. We've had them on the show before, seasoned veterans, Coach. But please, tell us about these two. Maybe something the audience doesn't know necessarily about these two, and even furthermore, how they've been playing so well as of late.
Yeah, well, Quincy is coming off Player of the Week last week, not the week we just had, but 2 weeks ago, Player of the Week in the conference, was well deserved by him. He's been playing at a really, really high rate for us. KK is really coming into his own also on the offensive side of the ball. KK always brings it defensively for us. Offensively, he's coming into his own as well. Had a really, really strong game that I think got him going at Pfeiffer, where he played really, really well. So, both these guys are really big leaders for us. Quincy is really, I think, the unquestioned leader of the group. The guys listen to his voice and respect his voice tremendously. And then KK, I think, at the top of our defense, just with his energy, really sets the tone defensively for the group as well. So both these guys are massive impacts on our team and have been a big, big reason why we've been able to have some of the successes here over the last few games that we've had. And just looking forward to continue.
Outstanding. Coach Lee Burgess, all the best in your preparation for Pfeiffer. We'll see you at the Bosch tomorrow night, 7 p.m. tip-off. Thanks for joining the show.
Thanks. Appreciate it, Phil.
All right, there he goes, head coach Lee Burgess. And as Coach Burgess helped us introduce these two, KK Horton in that upper right location. How are you, KK?
Good. How are you doing, Phil?
Doing great. Great to have you guys back on talking some ball. And Quincy Carter with us as well in that lower location. How are you, Quincy?
I'm doing good, Phil. How about yourself?
Doing great, especially when the Tornadoes are playing like this. 96-74 win over William Peace on the road. We were handling the women's game over here at the Boschmer Gymnasium, keeping up with the live statistics. And Quincy, we saw an absolute explosion in that second half, running on a 24-4 run. What was the difference to you, Quincy, as far as, being able to put together that run in the second half and pull away for the ultimate victory against William Peace?
We just handled business on the defensive side of the ball. We knew we had to lock in and key in on a few players that they had. So once we did that, we seen the lead increase. We seen us scoring more, and it was just great.
Yeah, in KK, anything to add to that as far as, perhaps some adjustments or a different mindset, coming out of halftime? It was a very tight game in that first half. Then you guys pulled away.
Yeah, for sure. Like going off Quincy said, it was really our defensive side, because on our offensive side, like we're usually never really worried because we have a lot of different players who can do different things. So once we really lock in on the defensive side and stop their players, then we just go score.
Yeah, you said a lot of different players doing a lot of different things. You two coming up big in that win over William Peace. We'll start with Quincy, a season high 25 points in the win over William Peace. As far as your game that day went, Quincy, you felt your shooting touch, I would imagine, and tell us how you kind of got to that 25 points.
Well, I just kept being aggressive. I saw that the defense wasn't really showing me any type of respect with my driving ability. So I just started going to the basket and making plays happen. So if it was putting the ball in the hole or finding the open person, that was what I was doing.
Yeah, and KK Horton scoring in double figures as well versus William Peace, 11 points, but you also got 6 boards, KK, a big number there. Tell us about how hard you work as a backcourt player to working on your rebounding and making sure you can get that contribution as well.
Nah, for sure. Like I said, we have different players that can put the ball in the basket, that can hoop. So I try to do things, like players in my position as guards, like getting rebounds, like little things. I try to do the little things, and then just from there, it just goes. I guess I don't know. I don't really work on my rebounding skills. I just go to the basket, try to get every board I can. Really
and that's well said, KK, because I don't know if you've put this together, but that's what sports information guys like myself and Joseph stay up late at night doing. But you're second on the team in steals, rebounds, and blocks. So 3 different categories that you're second on the team. Would love for you to take that even further, not just for yourself, but for how every player on the Tornado roster, how it's not just scoring points, it's doing all the little things as well.
Yeah, because the little things I think is what makes the impact in our game. So it's like, if one person's not scoring, another person's going to try to do another. But with me, I think I was just like, I try to do all the little things because, like, I can't keep saying, like, Quincy's probably one of our best scorers we have. So if he's going off and he's scoring 25, I'm going to try to get the rebounds, steals, blocks, give him the ball. And Jada Carnes was shooting well too. So, every time we see him, I'm trying to give him the ball too because he can shoot it.
Yeah, Carnes has been on fire in so many ways as well. Quincy Carter, coach mentioned, USA South Player of the Week for the week ending January 15th. And, that week was really when you guys really sort of, I believe, turned this corner and started playing this really high level of basketball these last few games. Quincy, what do you think has been the key, beginning with that Pfeiffer win and, winners of the 4 of the last 5 and headed into this critical stretch of the USA South Conference schedule?
I think we just knew how important those stretches of games were. We're a veteran group. We understand that if we want to win, we need to win now. So we had to turn around at the Pfeiffer game, and we did that. And then we strung out 2 good wins against 2 good teams, and then we had a bounce back loss, and then we came back and got a bounce back win. And I felt like we locked in, we came together. Like most teams would have folded, most teams would have just gave up, but we stayed together and we got the wins when we needed.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And right back at it tomorrow, Tuesday night, 7:00 at the Bosch. We want to make sure we pack the Bosch for this one. It's going to be, I believe, a heck of a matchup as the Tornadoes and Falcons. It was just a 2-point ball game over at their place a couple weeks ago, but the rematch will happen on Tuesday night. Both of y'all vying for position in those USA South Conference standings. KK, please tell the audience about the team's mindset going into tomorrow and what the preparation is going to be like. And, obviously how seriously you guys are looking forward to this opportunity.
Yeah, I think now, like, as a team, we know how good we can really be. And then coach was always emphasizing how before every game, before we go out to the gym, before we go out to the game, he always emphasized like how we always have to stick together, because that's like the most important thing, because now is not the time to like really fold on each other. We can't get mad at each other. We just got to stay together and really try to win, because I think we all believe that we can like get a ring with this, win the conference tournament. So, as we go into practice today, I think we're all going to be locked in and practice hard and just get ready.
Quincy, would love for you to add to that. What's going to be the key versus Pfeiffer tomorrow and the key moving forward throughout this USA South Conference schedule?
I think the key against Pfeiffer tomorrow is just bringing that defensive intensity, starting strong from the start, and just going out there and fight for the whole 40. Because we know the team that we are. We know that Pfeiffer going to come in and try to punch us in the mouth. They're going to try to get a much-needed win. But we need that win as well. We need to go ahead and stay on course and stay on the right track so we can go ahead and get the right seeding right before tournament.
7 p.m. Tuesday night at the Bosch. That's tomorrow night as we're taping on Monday. Hope you can be there. If not, we'll have it right here on this YouTube channel with Brady Penn on the play-by-play call. Well, KK Horton, Jr. from Asheville, North Carolina. Hey, I love talking ball with you, but would like to take it off the court a little bit as well. Junior year, so you've settled into Brevard College quite a bit now. Year 3 and so forth. Tell folks what it's like to be a Brevard College Tornado student athlete, to go to college at Brevard College, and perhaps there's a high school student who's looking into Brevard College for either basketball or another sport, and if you can kind of pass along, just what it's like to experience life as a Tornado.
No, absolutely. Like, experiencing life here is just, you get a whole lot of love, and you get a whole lot of because it's a really small campus, but everybody. A lot of people knows you, and you get to meet a lot of people, and it's just like none of them is just like, it's just all love here. And then even with the professors, like, they know your name directly. I've never been to a school where like professors really know you and they really help you out. And same with the people here. They just, you go to the caf and you're like, oh, what's up, KK? It's like you just meet different people and you just get to know them because it's just such a small campus. That's what I love about it.
Yeah, something to be said for that family atmosphere, no doubt about it, throughout the entire campus. And KK, tell us what you're working on academically. What are you studying?
I'm studying exercise science. Hopefully after school I can become a personal trainer, coach, and just somewhere in that area where I can stay close to sports.
Very good. Also with us, Quincy Carter. He's a graduate student out of Decatur, Georgia. And Quincy, you graduated with a bachelor's degree from Brevard College. Now you're currently enrolled in Brevard College graduate program. Same question I had for KK, as far as this whole experience. And now we can talk to you as an alum as well, since you've walked across the stage. But, perhaps someone's listening in and saying, what's this Brevard College all about? I can read all the stats and the results and all this, but what's it really like to be part of the college and also part of the basketball team?
Well, Brevard is like a close-knit community. Everybody know each other. Everybody family. Everybody friends. It's nothing but love here. I love it. I didn't feel out of place because I was a transfer student. I didn't feel out of place as soon as I came here. Everybody showed me love. Everybody gave me respect. And I enjoy it here. If you want to go somewhere to continue your basketball career and get a good education, this is the place, honestly. But I just enjoy everything about Brevard, honestly.
And tell us, Quincy, what was the bachelor's in that you were rewarded, this past spring, and what are you working on now in graduate school?
My bachelor's degree was in business, but my master's degree is in emergency management.
Very good. Emergency management, one of those new master's programs here at Brevard College, will really set you up for a career in a lot of different areas that students can pursue. Well, great to have both of you guys on Tornado Talk. We can't wait to see you back in action on Tuesday night, 7 p.m. versus Pfeiffer. Before we let you go, KK Horton, you know the drill. Shout outs or thank yous.
Nah, for sure. I want to, shout out my family, shout out my teammates, especially shout out my friends in Brevard. I just want to say thank y'all for always supporting us. You know what I mean? Just keep supporting us. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there for sure.
Yeah, it's been great so far. Can't wait to see what's around the corner for you all. And Quincy Carter, same opportunity for you. Got any shout outs for this evening?
I want to give a shout out to my family back at home in Decatur and my family in Athens. I know they definitely gonna be watching. I want to give a shout out to my teammates for always showing love, always being there, always uplifting me, because it's hard being the leader on the team, but they always there. And just give a shout out to my coaches to just instilling the trust in me to go out there and do what I do.
Very good. KK Horton, Quincy Carter, two important members of this Brevard College men's basketball team. They'll be back in action tomorrow versus Pfeiffer, 7 p.m. at the Boshemer Gymnasium. KK and Quincy, thanks for joining the program.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, there they go. And that wraps up another edition of Tornado Talk. Glad you're able to join us for this one. Be sure to follow the Tornadoes on social media and be sure to subscribe and hit the notifications bell for the YouTube channel so you can see when the Tornadoes go live. We'll bring live action, live broadcast of all the home games for Brevard College Tornado athletics. And, you know, as we mentioned at the top of the show, spring sports around the corner as well as all the basketball action this month. Want to thank everybody behind the scenes, including producer Joseph Marvin, sports information director at Brevard College, and also Cassidy Hutto and Emily Denega for their support as well with the production of this program. We'll see you at the Bosch Tuesday night, men's basketball versus Pfeiffer, and then Saturday, women's basketball in action as well at home. Go Tornadoes!